While I do have fond memories of Transformers Armada, the immediate sequel series is one I hold a great deal of ire for, as I'm sure many can sympathize. Horrid cel-shaded CGI animation, a plot that goes back and forth and nowhere, a script so painful even Bay would shake his head at it, and otherwise interesting character arcs left in absolute tatters with the wave of the magic wand known as brainwashing/reformatting. Starscream in particular suffered the most from this. A character who made the ultimate sacrifice, brought back as a ghost with little to no memory, and the opportunity to explore him confronting his past life and possibly reuniting with a certain very close friend just never happened because the writers decided that would be too interesting. Screw Transformers Energon and screw the brainless dipsticks that actually like it, you hear me? Screw you! Cybertron followed on from this, almost completely ignorant of what came before, and returned Starscream to his scheming backstabby roots. And amazingly, it somehow worked. And now, thanks to Legacy, we can celebrate another amazing Starscream from the trilogy that was, 2/3 decent? Transformers Legacy united Cybertron Universe Starscream, and Starscream? Here's the cardboard container, get a good look at it, and it's gone. Okay, on to the history lesson. Transformers Cybertron was the final installment in the Unicron trilogy, a set of sequential Transformers series from the first half of the 2000s that each had a certain emphasis on the titular monster planet Unicron. Starscream was one of several staple characters who had a significant presence in all three shows, taking on a new design to fit with each show's themes and gimmicks. However, as noted in the beginning, Starscream's character arc across the shows was inconsistent, with Cybertron being particularly egregious as anime itself was not initially written with consideration of the ongoing narrative. Not that this was entirely bad. Starscream's appearance in the show marked his return to form as the self-serving, treacherous schemer many love him for. Furthermore, he was actually fairly successful as he managed to not only take command of the Decepticons for a while, he even absorbed the power of God. All good things must come to an end though, and Starscream was inevitably beaten back and sent to another dimension. Sounds like Dragon Ball Z when I say it like that. So as any good screamer of the stars, the Legacy United figure's robot mode just oozes presence and personality with big chunky parts all around with all manner of surface detailing, capped off with a noggin featuring the signature Starscream smirk. I always love this design. It's self-inspired by Don Figueroa's Starscream design from The War Within, except better. He's also fairly well proportioned, at least compared to his original counterpart. At the same time though, it's somewhat clear something else is missing. Yeah, much like with Armada Screamer, the paint applications are rather lacking when looking at it side by side with the Galaxy Force Voyager figure. Though I will admit, at least it doesn't bother me quite as much as it does on Armada Screamer. Galaxy Force, I hear you echo? Surely you mean Cybertron Starscream, do you not? Well, no, I do mean Galaxy Force Starscream. If I had meant Cybertron Starscream, well, I'd need a bit of extra space to address that stellar elephant. Indeed, this behemoth of a thing is the Transformers Cybertron release of Starscream, a supreme-class ballooning of the GF toy that is way too big for its britches. Outside of the Legend of Cybertron, it was also the only standalone Starscream figure in the line, as the Voyager figure only ever released as part of a Toys R Us exclusive 2-pack and wasn't even in accurate colors. Not that there's no prevalence to him being this big, as he did grow to enormous size in the second half of the show whilst adorned with his crown. Unfortunately, bigger is not much in the way of better when it comes to articulation, as he is genuinely no better in the pose department than the old Voyager, which at this scale is bonkers to me. Unicron had fully articulated hands. What's your excuse for these thumper clumps? Furthermore, compounding this though is that my copy broke at the left arm connection, which I still hold to this day is just a straight up design flaw. Because why the hell would you design something like that to clip together with a thin plastic panel? Not that either of them hold a candle to United Starscream, who has the modern standard of pose points to look good using, plus some extra shoulder shifts. As mentioned before, Big Scream comes with a crown that can be removed if you so choose, a generic Decepticon Cyber Key with a worn-off sigil, and a gold-trimmed Earth Cyber Key. Both Cyber Keys can either be stored on the housing in his back or used to deploy his giant arm blade and blaster with a launching missile. He would also feature some light and sound actions, but I took the batteries out of this thing a long time ago and I ain't replacing them for this review. I lied. GF Screamer only comes with a single Decepticon Force chip and a 5mm compatible launcher that's missing its missile. The Force chip goes into the slot in the back here as well, but unlike the big guy, putting it here deploys the 2 swords on his arms, which interestingly enough works when the arms are in any position, which I gotta give props to the designers. That's a pretty intricate gimmick. New Scream has the gun and key combo as well, but the key itself is about as small as my thumbnail and activates no gimmicks when clipped into either the back or the rifle. In turn, you have to flip out the swords manually, which are a bit stumpier, but if you want, you can remove the block they are a part of to mount them either on his forearms or shins if you so choose. Converting the old Screamers into their alt modes is unsurprisingly very similar to one another, while the new one adds a few things to clean up the end result a little bit. Inevitably, though, they all come out as Cybertronic jets, vaguely tetrahedral in shape, per the homage to the War Within design, as they are all non-real-world flying alien vehicles with no adherence to any genuine designs. I'm not sure what criticism I can apply. They can't be fobbed off as artistic license. Well, apart from the noggin just being right there, not really hidden at all that well, the Legacy version doesn't have this problem. Even with the head completely out of sight, there is a molded suggestion in the same spot. Also, while the originals have 3 small wheels on the bottom for rolling, the Legacy jet just has this underslung air scoop block thing to set on. All their keys still store in the same places in this mode. The launcher on the GF figure fits under the nose, and the rifle on the new figure has a couple of options where it can go. Ultimately though, I think I'm going to give points to the old ones here for having a more solid and cohesive shape, as well as having more substantial wings. Yeah, none of them look like they can get and stay airborne, but the Legacy figure doesn't look like it's even trying. It doesn't make it a bad toy by a long shot, and in fact, it gets the recommendation from me. It's not perfect, but then again, what TF figure is anymore? He's just a really awesome Starscream design with a good amount of substance, and if you happen to be looking for one to put on your Unicron Trilogy shelf, this is the one that I would say you should get. I love Armada Screamer for what he is, but as a modern Voyager compared to this one, he's just a few notches shy of great. Plus, I was just always found this to be his best design from that era, so I'm a little bit biased. Come on though, how can you say no to that fiendish smirk? If disassembly is your desire though, then maybe steer clear of either one. Seriously, why the hell are these guys built like this? That said, I am somewhat concerned. Most Starscreams are destined for the recolor romp, and despite having 3 distinct Voyager Starscream designs in the past year, I don't think we've seen hide nor hair of an alternate Seeker from any of them at the time of this scripting. Like, I'm okay with collecting Starscreams, it's a bad habit, but I think if these were recolored, they would be a touch more enticing. Variety is the spice of life after all, and I think it's high time someone turned on the heat. This has been another short review from the Devasia Mentality. Thanks for watching, peace out, and plastic in.